Hey Book Dragons, welcome back to my channel. It's time for another book review. Let's go! So I recently read Nightmare by Chad Nicholas. This is Chad's debut novel, and man was it good. We'll talk about that in just a few minutes, but make sure you subscribe, do all this stuff here, help support my channel. I would greatly appreciate it. And with that being said, let's get right to the review. This is a horror thriller, and it takes place in modern day. It follows our main character Scott, who through various traumatic experiences in his childhood has developed dissociative identity disorder. And so he does have another personality that has manifested, and they are very much like two sides of a coin. You know, there's the good side of the coin, and then there's the, at times, evil and sadistic side of the coin. But it's just not that simple. Throughout this book, there are times where you feel like everything is just your standard thriller, and there's different sequences of flashbacks where it almost feels like a dream, but you're not sure if it is a dream. He constantly has nightmares involving crows, and that goes back to his traumatic experiences as a child as well. I don't want to go into too many details on that just because it would involve spoilers. Just keep in mind that as you are reading the story, you have to be very, very aware. There were times at the story where I was kind of confused. Okay, is this reality? Is this part of a dream? And then as the characters develop and you see different things happening, I just got so wrapped up in the story that I didn't see things that I probably should have seen that would clue me into what was actually going on in the story. So by the time I got to the end of the book, I was so blown away by the ending. I'm like, wait, no, how can all this be happening? Like all the things that are happening to Scott's family, and him struggling against his altered personality. And there are times where you think that you know exactly what's happening, and then everything seems to wrap up, but then after the wrap up you get the actual ending. And so I had gotten to the wrap up of the entire scenario that I had been reading for the majority of the book. And then I got to the end, and I'm like, wait, what just happened? So I had to go back and reread it, or not reread the book, but reread the ending, just to make sure that what I was reading was actually accurate. And I'm like, wait, what? So this was all part of that. I'm like, I was just totally blown away by the ending. It was a major twist, and he pulled off this twist really, really well. So it's definitely a fantastic horror thriller, and I'm not really a big fan of horror, to be honest. I like some horror movies, some horror novels that I've read, like It, are really good, but I'm not really big into the horror genre, so it's not really my thing. And so at first I was kind of like, well, I'm not sure about this book if I'll even like it, but it got really rave reviews on some BookTube videos that I watched, so I'm like, okay, I'll give it a try. And man, I was blown away. This book is phenomenal. Now, there are times where I was a little bit thrown off. The prose in the book started out really kind of middle grade or young adultish in terms of the dialogue and the writing style, and I don't know if that was intentional or if that was just, you know, him getting better as a writer over time, because the writing really got good for about the last 3/4 of the book. It was only that first quarter of the book that I was kind of thrown off by the writing style and wasn't sure if it was really going to be that good, but then it got really good. And I don't know if that writing style at the very beginning was intentional by the author to portray a certain setting, because there are parts of the book that take place in dreams and flashbacks, and I didn't know if maybe that particular writing style was meant to evoke the dream, because in dreams a lot of times dialogue is really simple and straightforward, and this was almost too simple and straightforward at times. So I don't know if that was intentional, but overall I thought it was a phenomenal read. I'd give it a solid 4 stars. Not top of the line 5-star read, but a solid 4 stars. It was really, really good, and I would reread it again. Just the character development is spot on. There were times that I just felt so distraught for the characters, for Scott and for his family. And be warned, as a parent, there are things in this book that will just tear at the core of your emotions. There are things that happen to his kids that are just so uncomfortable at times. But I don't know that they would really need to be changed, because it gave so much to the story. So I wouldn't really change it. I thought he did a phenomenal job, and I think that is to his betterment that he did not pull any punches, that he didn't try to worry about what other people would think. He just wrote the story as he thought it should be written, and I don't think it could have been written any other way to evoke the kind of emotions and story that you want to get from this book. So I give it high praise. At some point, I hope to maybe interview Chad on the channel, and we can talk more in detail about his book and some of the decisions he made, and about his journey as a writer too. I think that would be really cool. And if you would like to see something like that, let me know in the comments. Also in the comments, let me know, have you read this book? Is it on your list of books to read? Or have you never heard of it before? I had never heard of it before I saw it on a couple of other booktube channels. And so I think it is deserving of a lot more attention, and I really hope you pick the book up, and I'll leave links to where you can buy it in the description below. So I think that about covers it, guys. That's my wrap up for Nightmare. He does have a new book coming out. It was just recently announced. The book is called Shade, and it has the same really cool artwork style that Nightmare did, just in terms of the style of the artwork. It's got like a white cover with the scene in black and some red on it, and then on the and I'll post a picture of it up here too. But then on the inside, it's going to have that inverted, so it's a black cover, and it's just a really cool way to do it. And yeah, well done, Chad. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you are reading more books. I'll talk to you soon.